In this lesson, we're going to be talking about computer forensics and what computer forensics is. Forensics has to do with answering questions of a legal system. So, of course, computer forensics answers questions of a legal system where it relates to computers. So any sort of legal issue, whether it's a trial or some sort of civil court case or any other legal proceeding that has computers involved with it in some fashion, we're going to be talking about computer forensics. So computer forensics may be doing something like analyzing a hard drive or looking at network data in order to find answers to questions that have been posed in a legal setting. Forensic investigations are concerned with maintaining evidence integrity. So we want to make sure that the evidence that we gather is going to be admissible within the context of a trial of some sort or another. The whole purpose is to find facts that further the case that is being presented in the trial or the court case. So in order to do that, one of the things that's really important is a chain of custody. In other words, we have to make sure that the evidence that we gather has a clear line of ownership. So if I were to gather the evidence and I were to hand it off to somebody else, there would have to be documentation as to the fact that I gathered the evidence and handed it off to somebody, and we would both have to swear to that handoff, when it happened, and the state that the evidence was in. All of that information really important in this chain of custody, because the chain of custody is going to be brought up in the legal proceedings. So we'll be investigating what happens on a computer system that relates to the case that is being tried or looked at. Forensics examiners may also be called as expert witnesses. And this is when a forensic investigator gets called to provide testimony in a court trial. If you are called as an expert witness, your ethics and integrity may or will be called into question, and so they are very important. Anything that you do must be very ethical, and your integrity must be above question. Otherwise, the evidence that you bring is immediately called into question and may not actually provide any benefit to the legal case that is being tried. In other words, your evidence may just be thrown out or ignored or thought to be inaccurate or not relevant, or maybe even damaging in the end to the case that's being tried. So forensics is related to courts and trials. Evidence is collected by forensic investigators, and in the case of what we're talking about here, the evidence relates to computer systems, whether it's personal computers or servers or something going on a network. We're talking about investigation of computer systems related to court cases or court proceedings or legal proceedings. Forensic investigators may become expert witnesses, in which case they would be brought into these legal proceedings and asked to provide testimony and evidence during the course of the legal proceeding. And that's computer forensics.